became planets, became the galaxies, the solar systems, the stars, the suns, became all of life throughout all of the universe from these original light codes, which now move through you, just as they moved through the beginnings of who you are, that original spark of creation that became you. Now it moves through you at this time as well, bringing that energy, bringing those secret codes back within you, those codes that now translate into increased health within all of you as you feel and move with this energy now within your bodies, within your astral bodies, within your etheric bodies, your causal, your mental. Feel yourself now literally coming alive, alive with energy, alive with light within you. See that light moving into every crevice of your body and enlightening all of yourself and cells. I am Sananda, and I come at this time in these special moments that you find yourselves in now. Special in many respects. True, you look out and it does not seem so special. In fact, everything seems to be coming apart. And indeed, it is coming apart. You have a saying within your social structure. All hell is breaking loose. And as you look out at the various fires that are occurring in your western part of this country, and you look out at other areas of the country and the world itself, many of the other countries, and things do appear to be falling apart and going to hell. But the saying, all hell is breaking loose, we change it now, I change it now, to all heaven is coming forth. Heaven on earth is coming. It is already here for those that can see it, for those that have the eyes, the third eye open, that they can see now heaven approaching. And indeed it is. Heaven is all around you if you but look and see it. Some of you said on your call earlier in your discussion that you are talking to the animals, talking to the insects, that you feel the energy from nature, that you can communicate with nature, and indeed you can. Nature has always been there for you to communicate with. You lost the connection, or you believed you lost the connection because of your social structure, because of everything that you've been told since the time you were born until the time you find yourselves in now. But my friends, light has returned to the earth. Light is coming back into everyone. Everyone that is open to the light is now taking the light within themselves. Light is transforming all of this planet, all of this solar system, and indeed the galaxy itself. Light has returned. Love has returned. Love incarnate from the very beginning of creation, as some of you felt, as you not listened to those words, for they were not words, but as you felt the energy coming, as this dear one spoke the original language that became all of the languages following it, the original language. And you are now experiencing those codes that are carried in that light and are now transforming every single one of you in these moments now, as your DNA itself is becoming restructured and reconnected, is already happening at the higher levels of your being. It has not transformed yet down into your three-dimensional body, but it shall. As the great light comes forth from the great central sun in the form of the great solar flash, the event, your bodies, your physical bodies at that time will be transformed into more of light, not fully as the ascension will bring, but much more than what it is now. As you are more and more being able to anchor more and more light, holding the light, yes, spreading the light wherever you can. But that is what you came here to do. That is your mission. To hold it, to anchor it, and then share it, and spread it everywhere. And indeed, you are all doing that at various levels. Some more demonstrative than others. But even your being on these calls each and every week is having a profound effect, not only on yourself, but on all of those around you. As you move throughout your lives and mingle in with those that are not yet of the light, or not fully of the light, in a sense that they have not yet awakened. But your light, as it just comes within their midst, begins their awakening process. Know that you have that power within you, have always had it, but now you are coming more and more to understand that that power deep within you is coming forth now more and more. And you are able to say to your brothers and your sisters, look at me, I am free, just as you also can be free. Saint Germain speaks of Independence Day, and indeed you are all moving to that point of your Independence Day. It is not so much a day that will dawn, but an entire new creation that shall dawn. New creation that all of you are having a part in playing here, in bringing about. All you need to do is continue to trust in yourselves, trust in your brothers and sisters around you, trust in the plan, trust in the alliance, trust in the galactics, the ascended masters, the Agarthans. Trust in all of the company of heaven to continue to assist you and bring you through these times that on the outside, again, appear to be a hell that is being created. But in reality, it is a heaven that is coming forth. I am Sananda, and I leave you now in peace and love and oneness, that you will continue to reach out and share all that you have learned, all that you are continuing to learn, and all that you are becoming and have always been. Peace and love be with all of you. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. Om. Greetings to you. One who serves here, Shoshana, is here, we believe, and standing by. And we are ready to entertain your questions, as we always do on these calls. And just know that everything is proceeding exactly as it needs to, as Sananda is calling this heaven coming forth. And that is wonderful, because that is exactly what is occurring here. Even though it does not appear to be so in your three-dimensional expression and understanding, it is at the higher levels within your being. Heaven is indeed here on earth. Just as Yeshua said long ago, a new heaven and a new earth shall appear. That is what is happening now. A new heaven upon the earth. So we are ready now for your questions, if you have them. Are there? You can unmute your phones now, and yes, we are ready for your questions. Yes.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Greetings. I love you. My question is, does our group mission include remaining on Gaia until after the third wave of ascension, or will it vary for some?
Certainly, as your second part of that will vary for some. It is a free choice on all of you. You have heard, many of you have heard, that after your ascension, your own personal ascension, you will have the choice of whether to move on to another experience beyond this earth experience, or to turn around and come back and be a part of the expression as the second wave, and then the third wave comes through. That is a part of your mission if you accept it. But it can be changed. It can shift as you move through this. And some of you, we know, will say, enough. We have had enough. We have completed what we came here to do, and we are ready now to move on to a new experience, a new part of our journey. And if so, you can certainly do that. But then there will also be many of you that will turn around and say, well, yes, that part of our mission has completed, but we are not through with this journey yet at this time. And you will jump right back into the fray, you might say, and be a part of the continuing expression of the awakening here on this planet. That will be up to you. Shoshana?
You have answered sufficiently.
Very good. Was this sufficient for you, dear one?
Yes, I was feeling like I've been here so long, and I'm willing to stay and see it through, but I'm also feeling that I have work off planet that's calling to me.
You do have that, but you are a system buster. You have been told this before, and that is what you do. You and many others that are on this call, and many others that will resonate to these words. You are the system busters, and you go from system to system. And this is just one system that you are working on at this time. You may decide to continue to go to another system and continue this process, but possibly and most likely after a term of R&R, as you call it, rest and relaxation, which will be gladly needed and accepted by many of you. Okay?
Yes, thank you. Love and light.
Yes. Would there be other questions here? No other questions? Not even from the ones that normally will ask questions? We give you more opportunity to unmute your phone if you wish.
I have a question I'd like to ask, please.
Yes.
So I was listening to a channel whom I like, and she channels a quantity of 9 light beings, and they were saying that to be in your power is to be in the pillar of light. So you visualize something, or I do, going up and down, and this is a metaphor for this is a sword of Excalibur, perhaps Archangel Michael's sword as well. And so the blade going up and down would be a metaphor for the light. But she was also saying or relaying that the hilt of the sword going horizontally was part of this being in the light in the pillar. So I wondered what if the up and down signifies the higher and our higher selves and the being grounded to the earth or Gaia. What does the horizontal energy represent?
What is it? We did not hear that last part.
Or what? Yeah. What would be that be a metaphor for? Sorry.
It is not so much a metaphor as you are speaking. Indeed, you are correct in terms of the sword Excalibur being that of Archangel Michael's sword of truth, and that would be considered a metaphor as you would speak here in terms of your fables, in terms of your myths. But indeed, it was more than a myth, we can say here. Has much truth to everything that occurred. And the idea of the sword also being the light coming as a pillar of light, as we have been working with you in your various meditations for some time now, as the light, as a beam of light, a pillar of light comes from the galactic central sun, and even beyond that, all the way to the universal central sun, is indeed indicative of the light that is coming to this planet. And that is so. As to the second part of that, the horizontal aspect of this, it is not so much important other than there is a connection in terms of the energies that are coming to the planet and are surfacing on the planet, we will say here, in terms, this would be considered your horizontal, as you are saying here, as the light spreads out across the planet here, you see. So it would be indicative of that. Not so much as a metaphor, but as in many respects, a truth that is occurring here as the light spreads out. So it comes as a pillar or a beam of light and then spreads out from there. You can also utilize the aspect that we have been giving you for some time of a tsunami of light, a tsunami of love that spreads out horizontally, as you are saying, across the planet. Okay? Shoshana, do you have anything you add here?
We find that your answer is sufficient.
Very good. Was this sufficient for you, dear one? To the one who asked the question, was this sufficient for you?
Oh, sorry. Yes, that was great. Thank you very much.
Yes, very good. Are there any other questions?
I would like to ask a question.
Yes.
I would like to ask, let's say that I will go in the first wave, and I want to come back and help the second wave. My question is, will I have a different body? Will I have my complete light body, or did maybe I understood Sananda saying, I don't think we'll be completely in our light body after our ascension, personal ascension, but I'm not sure. And can I appear and disappear and not stay with the second wave, and it can go back up on the ship and come back anytime I want to? That's the question I have to ask.
That answer is certainly affirmative. You will be able to come and go as you please, and as the need arises. And that is the optimum concept here in terms of as the need is there. Just as when you call upon us, we are there. If you do not call upon us, then we are likely not there with you, not as much as you have when you directly call upon us. So you will have that opportunity or that choice to come and go between the ship, between here. And as to whether you, when you go through your ascension, whether you will be in your light body, the answer is yes to that. But your physical body will change. It will not be an overnight sensation directly. It will adapt, we will say here. Just as you adapted to this three-dimensional experience when you first began here, you will also need to adapt to the fifth-dimensional experience as well. But it will not be as difficult for you because you have done it before in some respects here. Not directly in this way, as we have said, because this ascension with your physical body has not been done before. But you have gone through ascension before, just not with your physical form. Okay? Shoshana?
Okay.
I believe that you have answered this.
Very good. We are on a roll here.
I didn't
Yes.
finish yet. Excuse me for being so long.
Yes.
But let's say I get with my twin flame and I want to stay with him. But like you said, I could come back and forth anytime I wanted to. Is that correct?
My dear sister, you can dance the night away with him as you are wanting to, as long as you want to. And then if you decide you want to be of service here, there will be those who will be ready to accept your service. Okay?
Oh, you're just making tears come in my eyes. I'm so
Yes.
happy. Thank you so much for
Yes.
you and all you do for us. Thank you. Namaste.
Yes. Would there be other questions here?
Greetings, this is Moses. Greetings, officers. I was wondering if you had any instructions for the team that is on its way to Mount Shasta today. Thank you.
We would tell you to simply be. Be in the experience. Be who you are within the situation that you find yourself, whatever that might be. Do not be concerned about outside activities or whatever is going on around you. Just be in the moment. And as you are being in the moment, everything will take care of itself if you are able to fully do that. But if you are caught up in the turmoil around you, as you may find at certain points, you will then be swept up in that turmoil, and you will miss out on what can possibly occur there as your vibrations increase. And that is the important thing to take into consideration here. Continue to raise your vibration. Certainly, as you are approaching there, as you continue this journey, continue to raise your vibrations more and more as you approach there. And when you find yourself there, again, be in the moment as much as you can and allow the process, allow those that are there to work with you to do so. Okay? Shoshana?
We do not have a message here.
Very good. Was this sufficient, dear Moses?
Of course. Thank you greatly.
Yes. Would there be any other questions here?
Yeah, this is Chris.
Yes?
Yes, so I would like to ask, I'm going to put it out there, is Mount Shasta a series of actual pyramids, which may be etheric or physical, just in concealed?
What you are experiencing, dear one, is not so much a pyramid in terms of physical sense, but yes, an etheric sense of this, in terms of a city of light. That is what you are experiencing. That is why you have called it the mothership as well. For it is a floating city, you might say, and it would appear to be in that sense of a ship or a city of light here. And that is what would be considered an etheric overlay over top of the mountain there. And of course, there is that aspect of the fifth dimensional, higher fourth and fifth dimensional experience, which is known as Talos in the mountain as well. And all of this can be experienced by those who are ready with the eyes to see and ears to hear. Okay? Shoshana?
Excellent.
We believe you have answered sufficiently here.
Very good. Would there be any other questions here? Nothing further?
Hello, this is Laura.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll ask one last one. This is Lorelei.
Yes.
So I'm sure you heard the story of this this gentleman that I finally blocked from my LinkedIn account. So this has been an experience for me. Is like being sort of gullible, sort of naive, seeing, I guess, in a way, it's like seeing a person's spirit or soul and resonating with that and having a caring for them, and then finding out that they're really not very nice people a lot of times. And then I got to try to wrestle myself out from it. And I know that, like, I'm about to go off on this plan to, like, start traveling around the country in the RV. And I'm a little concerned about that. Like, and is that still going to persist? Is there something that can be done, especially being around all those people? And I know I put them around my protections and everything else, but is there something I can look at that would make that a little better, or do you think it's going to go away?
We can answer that, but we would like to turn this over to Shoshana first if she wishes to address this.
We will share.
Yes.
May we offer our perspective, dear sister?
Yes, dear sister.
This is simply a matter of your own consciousness and how you perceive the world. As you travel, if you have thoughts that you have to heal all that come into your realm, then you will attempt to heal them. You can remain completely neutral in all of your travels, and as you remain completely neutral, you will not find any conflict in neutrality. Namaste.
Yes, and we would say here to simply be yourself. Do not attempt to be anything that you are not. Just be who you are, and as you are being who you are, everything will continue to take care of itself. And you will find yourself in the right places at the right times to continue the process that you are in the beginning of here. So just let it be. Go with the flow here. That is very important for you as you move into this next endeavor and next part of your journey here. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have another question. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yeah, I had several weeks ago, I had talked about a vision I had where my higher self showed me Egypt, and there were these two huge beings, and and the male was completely in the shade, but the female was smiling at me, and I was right up there. And I went back. You said go back and ask what this was about, and I asked, and the name Osiris came to me, which I guess is Osiris in English. But so I looked him up, and I heard the name Isis in Osiris, or Isis in Osiris, and I guess he was an Egyptian god. I knew he was a god. I didn't know he was Egyptian. So that was referring, I bet, to the man. But since she was totally lit up and smiling, I assumed this was one of my past lives. And what the next step was, what I saw was that we brought the golden sun disk of Lemuria. We brought that from Egypt to, it felt like South America, to some rainforest, thicket, whatever. And that's all I remember. Is it true that the golden sun disk came from Egypt?
What we can tell you is because you have experienced this directly through your own meditation, through your own vision here, as you are saying, and not received it from someone else telling you this, then we can tell you in the affirmative you are experiencing that which you did here and that which you were. You are not getting the full indication of who you were in that aspect, but you are getting a sense of an aspect that you have been before. And you are certainly related in this sense to that experience of the movement of that sun disk. We will not say from Egypt directly, but we will say in moving that sun disk. You had a great part of moving that into the location that it found itself at one time, and that it has again been moved from that location where you had access to place it to a location where it still sits now, and ready to become a part of the expression with man again here when the vibrations have reached the crescendo that they need to bring this great object, this great ideal forward once again. And it has to do with, as Sananda said, heaven coming forth. Okay?
Beautiful.
Shoshana, anything you wish to add?
We can share if we may, dear sister.
You bet.
Dear sister, we will just simply say that one cannot imagine that which one has not experienced. So all that you perceive in your meditations, in your daydreamings, in your night dreamings, in your astral body, in your etheric body, all that you imagine has happened. Namaste.
Wonderful. Very well said.
Thank you.
Very wonderful perspective given there. Would there be any other questions here before we release channel? Nothing further? Then, Shoshana, do you have anything you wish to impart here?
We will simply say that everyone must live their true selves. They must find their balance point. They must find their neutral point. And they must, as all of us must do, continue to live in that balance point, and all will be well. Namaste.
Very good. And we would simply say here, know that you are on the cusp. You have moved through this entire process of all of your many, many lifetimes here on the earth and coming to the grand culmination, we will say here, as you approach this indeed, as Sananda has given, heaven coming forth. And it is coming forth here now. Shanti, peace be with you. Be the one.
Shanti.